Actually, no, that's Agent Smith from The Matrix. I did have a revelation. I was just leaving my, whatever, motorhome park, and some guy asked me if I had a drink for him, as if somehow I owed him favors, even though he didn't do a thing that I paid him for several times in the past. But still, I owe him something. He said, do I have a drink for him? And I'm like, right now, emphasize. But then I went to get a drink for myself. I told him I had 2 drinks. They were hard to get, and they're probably warm already. So I stopped at McDonald's Dog, and I got this ice. And in this particular case, it was free. But usually when you go to buy ice, it's like 50 cents or something. And now for the revelation. Why am I talking about ice? Now, why did that guy rev his engine by me, not realizing I'm the center of the universe making a YouTube video? Why is that? And now, for my revelation. The greatest scam in human history, and no one notices it. Or shall I say noticed? Put that as past tense, even though it's actually, on the title I'll put noticed with a D, which is true, but yet it's happening as we speak. It's happening all the time. Right now it's happening. To everyone, everywhere, for a countless amount of time. And no one noticed. And this is it. So what is it? It's the greatest scam ever. It's greater than, I don't know, than inflation, counterfeiting money to cause a debt, and that when they loan money to other countries, they decrease the value of the money more than the loan, and then they get their interest. That's like billions and trillions of dollars. I don't know, Musk, the new slave coin they're trying to put out there to try to control the world and to attempt to improve it, even though they know nothing about how to improve the world. That's a pretty big scam. That's violating like countless areas of the Constitution. And to do that, they have to control the news and control the judges and all that stuff. That's quite a big scam. That's worth trillions and gazillions of dollars and all that. I'm thinking of other scams, Sank Bank, frigN, that thing. The stock market, the fact that everyone has to pay, well, the fact that it's rigged, probably, and that everyone has to pay taxes if they win, but they don't get any rebates if they lose. There are countless scams. I don't feel like rambling them off, but there are many multi-billion dollar, trillion dollar scams out there. And this is the greatest scam of them all. It's greater than Uber, which is the thing that like monopolize the cab. Not small town, they're small time. They're trying to monopolize the cab industry so they can sneak their robots in there. It's done. That's small potatoes. That's chump change. A couple $100 billion bucks or whatever. The whole entire transportation cab industry. That's all it's ever worth. And it won't work because of the robot snafu, which I've fluffed out on another video. So it's not likely to work for quite a while unless they get total control of the news and stuff like that. I guess Google would have to be in on that one. All I have to eat, drink is ice. Of course I can't speak. Uber's a small-time scam. There's a lot of bigger scams. Amway, whatchamacallit, this, that, and I've heard them all, but when I try to think of them right now, nothing comes to mind. The point is, they're all chump change. They're all just a matter of a couple $100 trillion bucks or whatever. It's puny potatoes. That person's beeping the horn. They don't realize I'm the center of the universe. Incredible. All they think about is themselves and how smart they think they are. and how smart they think they are. I would have said that with a straight voice if I wasn't dry-throated, because I could. I have nothing but ice cubes. There's a reason I haven't poured this ice cube and this drink into this thermos yet. I have to finish this drink real quick. First the video, then this drink. I have a little sequence of things. By the way, there's no such thing as time. It's just a means of measuring the sequence of how things happen. But anyway, I'm digressing. That was just an attempt to look like I'm smart, which of course is what makes people look stupid, including me. And if I try to be funny, and so on. Where was I? Talking about that guy beeping their horn and all that stuff? All the excuse me video. Center of the universe here. Thank you. Talking about all these multi-trillion dollar scams are chump change, pipsqueak money, peanuts. pipsqueak peanuts compared to this scam. The scam that no one notices, and sometimes when you don't notice something, it's right in front of your face. It's the strangest thing. I could throw out a lot of Zen riddles about that, but needless to say, when you seek it, that is why you cannot find it. Hence, therefore, ergo. Looking and seeking is the opposite of seeing. So when there is a scam, that's in the quintillions, the 100 quintillions, which makes trillions, and hundreds of trillions look like pipsqueak chump change. Because it is so invisible is why it has been able to be pulled off for so long. Let's get, I keep digressing, man. Yeah, speaking of buying ice, you ever notice when you buy a drink at like a McDonald's or a Quick Trip or any gas station, it's $2. Sometimes it's $3, sometimes it's $1, but it's not quite cold enough, so you have to put the ice in it, whether it's crushed ice, this spice, diamond ice, cubed ice, whatever. I like the word cube because it's so misleading for what I'm talking about. But you ever notice by the time you put that much ice in it, you only put half as much of that drink in it? The water is free. They're already cooling the ice. They could cool your drink if they had any kind of soda drink decency. And they didn't even get their soda. That's whatever, Family Guy making a soda song. So in essence, you're paying for this drink for maybe an average of $2, but a half of it is ice, which should have been free. They could have just cooled the drink to 32 degrees or whatever. And you're actually paying $2 for a drink, but half of it is free ice, which means you're paying $2 for a $1 drink, or, you know, $3 for a $1.50 drink, or $1 for a 50-cent drink. But on average, you're paying $1 extra, and that doesn't sound too bad. But there are, I think there's something like, beneath the BS, there's probably, I have this idea there's something like 9 billion people in the world. No one agrees if it's becoming overpopulated or unpopulated. It's a funny thing. Half people think it's becoming overpopulated too quickly, half people think it's becoming underpopulated. They're all positive they're right, oblivious that half the other people in the world think the opposite opinion with the same fervorous, certain conviction that they're right. Just like that thing with the petrodollar, like half the people on the internet think that they abandoned their agreement, and the other half think that it's all hoopla, and they haven't. But none of them are aware that the other half, the other billions of people, think the opposite opinion. They're just as sure. It's the strangest thing. Why was I talking about who's positive that they're right? It wasn't about. I don't know. It was, of course, there was that petro thing, but then there was something else. Whatever. Everyone's positive they're right, and there's a 50% chance they're wrong, and the other 5 billion of them are wrong. That doesn't sound too good. That doesn't bode so well for an intelligence measurement. Half the people in the world are wrong, and the other half the 10 billion people in the world, the other 5 billion people, are oblivious to the fact that they might be wrong, even though they're positive they're right. Doesn't sound too good. Why am I talking about that? All these people, they're all positive of something and they're wrong. I don't remember what it was, but they're wrong. Overpopulating and underpopulating, blah, blah, blah. That's to say, I don't know how many people are in the world exactly because of that. I'll say it's something like 9 billion, 10 billion. 10 billion is easier math. I bet you they'll still be being scammed until it's 10 billion. So you might as well say 10 billion. 5 billion of them, no, 2 billion of them a day, 1 out of 5 buy a soda. Some buy 2 sodas or 2 Gatorades from the fountain or whatever I'm talking about. And some buy 1. Some buy none, but an average of 1. I'd say 2 billion people a day. That's fair. A lot of people are poor, they don't do that. A lot of people, this, that, and the other. But still, 1 out of 5 people in the world buy an average of 1 drink per day and lose an average of $1 per day. I wonder if this place still has only 89 octane. So, big deal. So far, all we are is 2, look at that, there's still regular as silver. What a scam. The regular silver scam. silver rectangle that's an invisible scam looks rather familiar for some reason. No way. Quite the conundrum, isn't it? So in any event, so far it seems like a small thing about this soda that I was whining about. I almost forgot what the scam's going to be. But in any event, just whining about this soda. I keep digressing. 2 billion people a day doesn't sound too horrible. Unfortunately, however, 100 in 3 years, that's 1,000 days, and now suddenly it's $2 trillion. Still sounds like small potato chump change. $3 trillion, whatever. You can't even buy an ice cube for that these days, or a half decent gumball or whatever, or gas that's not pretending to be 87. It's 89. Yeah, that kind of thing. I think they did put the right sticker on them. I think they fixed that. That grew up a little bit. Someone probably got mad at them. Silver is usually 89, but this time they fixed it. So it's 87. But you can't even buy a decent gallon of 87 octane for $2 trillion these days. It's chump change. Much smaller than a lot of the scams that be. Unfortunately, that was in 3 years. Yeah. That was 3 years, which is 1,000 days times $2 billion. 2 billion times 1,000 is 2 trillion. Numbers are funny. Because this soda drink stuff's been going on for 50 years. Or 100 years. Not I. I got ripped off by buying ice cubes. Eh? I forget. 100 years it's been going on for. Maybe 200, maybe 50. 100 years is now $2 quadrillion. Plus compounding interest over 100 years, plus people buy more sodas than that. I forget the rest of that, but somehow I got it up to $2 quintillion. I forget what the other thing was. When I was driving over before I flopped on this phone, I got into the quintillion. Well, anyway, short story short, I have not digressed this time. I have pretended to digress. The answer was right in front of you all along. Right in front of every single person being ripped off $1 by $1. Once a day on average for the last 100 years and forever. They'll drink the ice cubes and say, man, that's quite the scam. Oblivious that they're being ripped off for $1, as always. The dreaded ice cube scam. 15 minutes was that? Yeah, no, 13 minutes. That's a scary number. I'll see if I can round that video down to 12:59.